This tutorial will demonstrate how to cite a book by a single author according to the SBL Handbook of Style. This is the most basic type of citation, and so it's a good one to begin with and learn the basics of how to cite something according to this particular style guide. So as our example, we're going to cite this book by Andrew T. LePew, Write Better, and we'll be toggling back and forth between the front matter of that book and the SBL Handbook of Style, looking particularly at in Chapter 6 at Section 6.2.1 on page 84, which is where we find the paradigm for how to cite a book by a single author. And so you'll notice here, if we're going to cite a book by a single author, we're going to need some basic information. We're going to need the author's name. Then we're also going to need the full name of the book, including any subtitles. That'll be in italics. And then we need the place of publication and the publisher, and then finally the year of publication. So that's the basic information that we're going to need. Let's see if we can find that information in the book, and then we'll see if we can get it ordered correctly. Again, this is all fairly easy to find in the front matter of the book. This is a scan of the title page from this particular book. So we have the author's name here at the top. We have the title, Write Better, and then the subtitle, A Lifelong Editor on Craft, Art, and Spirituality. And already on this page, we also can see the publisher, InterVarsity Press, and also the place of publication, Downers Grove, Illinois. All we're missing is the date, the year that this is published. That typically is found on the very next page, where you have more detailed information about publication, and you will typically find a copyright symbol, followed by a date, and that's the date we're looking for, 2019. So that's a publication year for this particular work. So that's all the information we need. Then we just need to go back and make sure we have it in the right order. So we're going to follow the paradigm here to cite a bibliography item first. That's the third one on the list, and then we'll go back and we'll make the necessary changes to cite it as if it were a footnote, both the long footnote and short footnote. So for the bibliography, we begin with the author's name, but we begin with the last name first in a bibliography. And then we need the title, and we put the title in italics. And after the main title, we put a colon and then write the subtitle. The thing that comes next after the title is the place of publication and the publisher's name. Now this is a good place to double check and consult with the SBL Handbook to see how we should shorten the publisher's name and how we should do the city. And so if we go to an earlier section, this is section 6.1.4.1, starts on page 76, we get a list of publishers that are common in biblical studies and theology. And what this list is going to give us is the shortened name of the publisher that we should use, and then whether or not we need to include both the city and the state, or just the city. And so if I scroll down until I can find InterVarsity, I'll see this information here. So we have listed InterVarsity Press, and we're told that we should list it as Downers Grove, Illinois. We need to include the state in this particular when we cite it. So we begin with the place first, colon, and then the press, and we'll use the shortened name as it appears here in the SBL Handbook. Right, and then all we need is the year, which we double check next to the copyright symbol, was 2019. That's all the information that I need for my bibliography entry. That's in the correct order. All I need to fix now are the indents. And so remember, with the bibliography, I have the first line indented all the way to the left, and then I have a hanging indent of 1/2 inch on any subsequent lines for the entry. So there's my bibliography entry in the correct order, correct formatting, ready to go. If I want to cite if I want to use that as a footnote, we'll look at how to do that here. So we can see we're going to have basically all the same information, but there's a couple changes. One, I'm going to put the first name first for the author, and I'm going to use commas in between most of my elements, and then I'm going to put the publication information about where and when it's published in parentheses, and then I'll follow that by a page number. So I've got an imaginary sentence here once I cite the same source twice. So in my first citation, the first time I cite this source, I'm going to need the long footnote. That is the footnote with all the information. And so one fairly easy way to do that is to copy and paste, if I already have the entry somewhere else, paste that here, and then I just need to reorder the information. So the things I need to change, I need to put the author's name in first name then last name order, so I can change that. I need a comma after the author's name before the title. I've got that already. Then after the title, I put in parentheses the information about when and where it's published, comma, and then page number. Let's imagine I'm citing something from page 17. Okay, if I'm going to use a short footnote, as we can see over here in the second example in the paradigm, all I need is the author's name, comma, a shortened title. In this case, I would probably go with Write Better. You get to determine the shortened title that you use for your books. Just make sure it's clear to your reader so they can find the source easily in your bibliography. And then again, a page number. We'll imagine page 21. And that's how I would do both the long footnote and the short footnote. So hopefully that helps make it clear how you are to cite a book by a single author, the very first example that we get in the SBL Handbook of Style.